Welcome and thank you everyone for joining us for another Twitter space. Today is August 22nd, 2022, and this is episode 30 of the ledgerscale Internet of Value Open Forum. Now, ledgerscale Foundation was founded with two goals in mind. One, we want to provide educational services to not only our community, but to help scale up the number of brains in the entire digital asset community that understand how distributed ledger technology works. And two, we intend to one day run hardware to provide infrastructural support to the distributed ledger technology networks that we believe are ESG friendly and running a form of decentralized consensus. Now, we host these spaces Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday starting at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. And on Wednesday, we host a focused topic space from 5 to 6 Eastern Standard Time. And if I could just ask if everybody could give us a follow on Twitter at ledgerscale and turn those notifications on so you know when we're going live with the spaces. And as well, at the bottom right, if you could hit that little bubble and like the space and give us a retweet, because Twitter really likes that for the algorithm. And we try to put this information out so that not only the people in this space, but that hopefully other people in the future can hear this valuable information that not only I feel like maybe some of the speakers bring, but also people who type comments in the audience who don't even come up and speak. So,
And basically, we're just here to engage the community. So if anybody has a question or a curiosity, please speak up. That's the kind of crux of the point. And if you're wondering about something, I'm sure somebody else is. So this is an open forum. If you do speak up, though, just please be cordial and welcome to the space.
I'm just going to send invites to everybody. If you can't come up and speak, that's fine. Or if you have a question or a comment, feel free to type it in the little bubble box at the bottom right. I don't even know what should I call that. We call that the comment box or I like the bubble box.
That works. I mean, I think that's a good way because I think it's a halfway point, like some people are, I mean, we've heard that some people anyway are intimidated to speak up, and I don't think that's a good thing. So if the bubble box is less intimidating way to sort of ask a question or something, then use it. Maybe you can't speak. You're not in a situation like you're in an office, and you can't just start talking about something crazy. Yeah, use the text thing.
Hey, Karma, I have a question. As far as like you guys' thoughts, and I'm not really well versed in this, but I'm seeing a lot about the DTCC and the R3 settlement mechanism. I just wanted to know your thoughts on that or anyone's thoughts.
I only saw the headline. I didn't see the article. The DTCC, they're almost like a what do you call it on the internet? There was a big attack on this a few years ago. The DNS, the DTCC is kind of like the DNS. Do you know what the DNS is?
No.
The domain name server or something. I forget what basically the DNS. So like if I want to go to a website, it hits the DNS and it sends me to the right server. And then, and someone like that, maybe you're a little more technical than me, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And then the DTCC is kind of the same thing, except in financial services, right? Like it's the clearing. It's where all the stuff comes, and I forget what it stands for. its function is to be the thing in the middle of all the different participants. That like when I pay you a security, like you know that you got the security. It's like almost like it's not really.
Yeah, they're the settlement layer.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Just a very, very, very large, important settlement layer.
Well, and I think it makes sense that R3 would do a deal with the DTCC. I mean, R3 has R3 has privacy. They've got distributed systems. Um, I mean, R3 is they've got good partnerships. I mean, outside of Ripple, I don't know who else in the crypto world has better partnerships than R3.
Just wanted to add to sort of describe what DNS is. You're right. It is domain name server. It's just a service that correlates an IP address to the domain name. So rather than you going to the IP address or knowing the IP address, which could be dynamic for any website, all you have to do is enter the website www.domainname.com. And then the DNS server will just be able to route the traffic from the name to the IP.
I may be mistaken, but I think DNS stands for Domain Name System.
It's a server, which is the same thing technically.
The system hosts servers, yeah, but I think, but never mind.
Well, in
Yeah, I mean,
IT we call it domain name server.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are hosting servers technically, so yeah.
I don't. Just the DTCC, they're one of those organizations that's in the background, almost like the Melon. You know, like they do like custody, right? So like think of like PolySign and what's their sister company, Standard Custody. DTCC is more, I would think, on that layer of the industry. But I mean, if R3 is doing a deal with them and starting to work together, I would say that's a thumbs up. Good. This will help move the industry forward.
It had specifically mentioned using the Corda settler built by R3.
Is there a tweet somebody can pin up?
The Corda settler uses XRP.
It was designed to use XRP, yeah. I mean, it can use other assets, but yeah, it was designed with XRP usage in mind for the best liquidity vehicle. I have a feeling, though, they end up, if they do use XDC in their Corda settler system, I have a feeling they use it for like interbank settlements inside of the Italian banking system. Really, like where the I would say the strong part of the regime of their systems are.
Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that they're considered something systemically important to the infrastructure.
100%. Absolutely. I mean, yes, 100%.
They have one of those SIFMU designation. Yeah, systemically financial important market infrastructure.
They're definitely at the systemic level. For sure. Gosh, they were only started. I'm just looking at Investopedia. It says they were only started in '99. That doesn't sound right, but I guess so. If that's what it is.
They're not far from me. They're in New York City.
Did you guys see? I think it was XRPL Labs voted yay for the XLS20.
Yeah.
I think we're at 54% now.
We're at 54. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm excited, but I ain't gonna lie. I wish it takes a little longer.
Yeah, I think more will even feel like this. Let's imagine it's like 75%. You know, like.
Actually, I wanted to ask. I saw, damn it, who was it that FOMO replied about the solo? I'm sure everybody saw it. I think it was DS from Expectar sort of asked a question about. Let me see if I can find it and pin it. I sort of want to see, what could happen.
Regarding NFTs.
Sorry,
Yeah, it was in regards to sort of the conversion of XLS 14 to the XLS 20. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Okay.
You're talking about the comment about when the ability to convert from an XLS 14 to an XLS 20. Don't everybody attack the network at once. Kind of was the message. Is if I'm not mistaken, that's what the one you're referring to.
Alloy also put up, I think.
It was that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was answering someone or a Sologenic fan, and because in regards of conversion of XLS 14 to 20, and Alloy was stating that about he was concerned about network load and all that.
I just pinned it, and you guys take a look. Some more replied as well.
I'm not seeing it yet. We're just gonna take probably a couple seconds. Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Everybody take a minute to go over it.
Yeah, I'm reading it right.
Sounds like a real class, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because what he also said before, and further down about, because it's like 200. I think they said 200,000 NFTs or something. I'm not sure, but
Man, it's a good amount.
200,000 or something. And if you would convert it immediately, 100%. Like I could imagine if you don't run your own hardware, that Weitze or XRPL clusters will block your address, so you cannot submit transactions to XRPL clusters, but you have to switch to, I don't know, S2 Ripple or something.
Off of Solo's infrastructure. Don't worry, burn out their stuff, because what happens if you have such a transactional overload? Somebody who's running a full history node, right? That data has to process. So all those hard drives are working like hecka overtime, right? To be putting that information in, and so you burn people's hardware out. That's not cool.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like a huge load, obviously, because it's like it's like a massive airdrop. This is how you could just a massive airdrop and even more stuff going in, because I think a 10K collection minting takes around, I would say, if you do it properly and slowly, let's say 1.5 hours. This for 10K, 200,000. I don't know, it would take a lot of time, and let's see.
That's just one project, though.
Yeah, there's no one part. Yeah, I mean, fair to say, there is, I think, as far as I know, no 10K collection on Sologenic, because it's so difficult to get 10,000 hand minted NFTs there, because they don't have an API. You cannot automate it.
Well, you also have to pay, like, what would it be, like 30,000 solo or something to mint that?
Yeah, you need quite a bit of solo as well. Yeah.
100,000 solo, maybe, actually.
Yeah. So bringing, especially because, and there was a comment about what if people use their own script to to mint stuff, and they use the public ledger. Yeah, dude, this could be difficult then, because they have to mass block probably so many addresses to not get overrun by people. Because let's say we have here, how many people are, okay, 30 people. If we have 30 people and everyone here is running a script that mints a 10K collection, we would need like block 30 wallets addresses in that sense. If they do more than 10K, I don't think anyone gets blocked for a 10K collection. But if you spam, right? Yeah, let's see how they're going to handle it. Like, I have no idea. I think they haven't also stated really what their plan is. I think their plan is just to, they're going to convert, but how they're going to do this, what's the process, and
I got
how
a
long it
question
takes.
for you. Is there a way to simulate traffic on the DevNet? I know there are. I mean, I'm a network engineer. I guess there's applications where you can simulate traffic. Sort of wondering if there's something similar to that on the dev environment.
They did a benchmark. Like Nick Bougalis did a benchmark with a couple of nodes and validators to simulate simulate this. I think they did, like, they minted 2 million NFTs and all that. But the thing is, like, it's very synthetic. All were hosted basically on the same network. It was in the same data center. Like, they were just basically close to each other. It was like one loop.
Oh, that
So
makes sense.
yeah,
There's
so no latency, nothing, and
Got it.
yeah. So it's synthetic. But yeah, you can go to the, you could do this theoretically on the DevNet if enough people would do stuff on the DevNet, on a testnet. Because right now there's not much going on there. Honestly, I think the database, if you would crawl all NFTs there, not much going on. Like a couple hundred megabytes, I think.
So
So
I just want
yeah.
to add. So those who don't know latency, what that means by it being a closed network. Say you're driving a car from here to another city versus from here to your neighbor's house. So pretty much latency means how long it takes for the round trip communication. So
Yep.
I just wanted to touch on that for people.
Yeah, and they didn't have to bear also, like, all the other stuff that's going on, right? I mean, you're not gonna only focus on NFTs because people are, you still want to send payments and all that. So this is not considered in that synthetic benchmark as well.
Yeah, latency is a big deal. We did a whole lot of work on cutting stuff out of the code, basically, to make sure on the other thing, or the text event picks thing, so that, because it's real time. Well, real time is actually harder than it sounds to accomplish, especially when you're dealing with multiple telecom networks, etc. And latency is a big issue because, see, we can't control for how quick your phone and your phone. I mean, there was at one point, there was a particular telecom network that just wouldn't work. I mean, it just wouldn't work. I didn't have to give any refunds or anything, but, like, we had customers where some of their attendees were not able to use the service because so then the latency, it matters, right? Especially if you're providing like a real-time service. I mean, look at the latency of like Ethereum and Bitcoin. I mean, are you kidding me? 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to do a transaction? Like, and I'm sorry, I'm spoiled maybe with the XRP ledger, but it's done. You submit the transaction, the network, and that's it. That's it. It's done. You see the results. I mean, to sit around for minutes and minutes and minutes is just that's an insane amount of latency. I mean, if I built my other service and with the like 15 45 minute latency, it would never ever sell. Never. It would just, I mean, maybe there's a couple of cases, but no. You really got to keep on top of things. I mean, like, speed is valuable. For like, yeah. And and especially in finance where time is money, it matters even more. Or in additional ways, it matters. But just
go ahead.
But like from a customer experience, you want to get, like, if somebody say does a post on Twitter, right? And they need to immediately be able to see that post. I mean, if you got 15, imagine if you did a Twitter post and like 20 minutes later it showed up. How many people would use Twitter or Facebook or email, right? Like, imagine you sent an email and it showed up a half an hour later to the recipient. Like, that's ridiculous.
I think also like here is where the fee escalation would come into play to still process transaction and reduce congestion on the network, and to see like what's going on there, and if people are building this into their apps or not. This is certainly something to consider. For example, if you build, or if you have a minting script, minting app, whatever, and you use public network, then I hope you include that fee escalation stuff, so that anything can still work.
Sorry, this just popped into my head. Imagine you send a payment, talk about latency, and it shows up 3 days later. This is insane. But sorry, I was following what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah, it's cool because then the network will be tested again. I feel like it's gonna be interesting to see what's going on. Are things gonna break? Is chaos gonna break out? Let's see.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be some business models that are currently prominent and dominant, and they make money off of this latency, right? Because time is money. In finance, you earn interest. Interest is calculated across time. So the more time, the more interest, the more money, the more income. Some of those business models are going to get competed out of the market, and there's going to be new business models that come along that deploy this new technology that are going to outcompete them. And the revenue model will probably transition over to like a transaction fee based, rather than an interest based, because how are you going to collect interest on 3 seconds? I mean, you can go all the way to continuous interest, but that's not actually how people do things. I mean, theoretically, I guess it's possible, but so it's going to have to switch over to a transaction per transaction. So then these companies, rather than selling liquidity across 3 days worth of time, they're going to start selling basically just access to the network. They're going to start selling transactions. You want to send some money to the Philippines, give us $5. Doesn't matter how much money you're sending, right? It could be $5, it could be $10 or $100 or $1,000, whatever. Just give us $5. We'll process the transaction for you. We'll handle all the legal and regulatory compliance and technical integration with the networks to make the money go over there and do the whatever. And that's what they're getting paid for. And that's all good and well to get paid for. It's not easy stuff. Should be paid for. But yeah, just like a flat fee, like a $5.
Yeah, this is what I meant. Like if you put in maybe these, hurdles, or I mean, the thing is, the cluster in that sense, is like a free hardware structure that anyone can use, right? You don't have to pay someone or rent time to process or to submit transactions to it. But to go with this, I would say, because right now the the interest overall, I would say, is not so high regarding NFTs. Like, it cooled a bit off, obviously, with the market condition and all that around. So I think that would also help with the transaction load and all that stuff on the network. So yeah, I would be only, yeah. So this makes sense then. For example, and what Eloy was saying, he was concerned about the 200,000 or whatever it was. I don't know, but NFTs XS14 to XS20, because they are already they exist already, so to speak. But new ones, maybe they're not so much concerned about this because, as I said, the market condition is not so high right now for NFTs.
Can you go? I'm not sure. Can you go back to your previous point? I'm not sure I understood that part. The point where you were talking about interest, because
not interest, but with putting fees to it, like or fees to. I mean, the thing is, there are marketplaces or people who build stuff who say, we're gonna use fees and maybe also block you after if you mint too much. Like, we are not, or each time you mint stuff, it's price gets hiked until you don't, right, mint anymore. And this way to reduce transaction, or get paid for the burden of what you have done or you try to do. I mean, the fee escalation basically incorporated into minting in that sense,
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
But like in my this is also why I, because I love to have all these things more accessible. So ideally it would not cost anything or very, very low. But if you put like these huge price tags on it because you're afraid of the network and all that, I'm also not a fan of this. Like, like, we should not be so gentle with what's with the network, because hey, if you have stuff going on and you just use the what you can do in a not malicious way and in a recommended way, and for example XS20 is recommended to use, then I see no problem with it. But on the other hand, if you have a business and you have like a huge backlog of, let's say, XS14 NFTs, then yeah, maybe you should just like more coordinate this with infrastructure providers so that you have also a good experience, because it's also not in your interest if you just do that and then you whatever, you cannot do this anymore because it's so slow, or you wreck the endpoints, you whatever. I mean, I think communication is key here, and whenever people are communicative in that sense or not, I mean, it's up to the individuals, right? Like if I have, like, let's say 1 million NFTs, right, that I already have kind of ready to go, and I need to push them out, then I would definitely consult like the people who are in that field, very experienced, and see like what's the recommendation, how should I approach this, um, like what batch size I should use. Obviously I'm not gonna mint them all throughout, but what, I couldn't even probably, but what's the batches and all that things. But, yeah.
Kasha made a comment in the little bubble. He said $5 of even 20 is too high, won't happen. The goal is to get the fees to 35 BPS. He said I disagree with any flat fee.
What's BPS?
He might have meant to type
Base points.
or
basis points. It's one basis point, I think, is what, a percent, or no, it's a tenth of a percentage, right?
It's 1%. 100 basis points are 1%. No, yeah, 1%. So one, yeah, it's 0.01. Whatever. 100 is 1%. Okay,
Yeah.
so
There's
35 would be a 0.35, right? Or,
yeah, 0.35. Yeah.
most financial services, when you get to like the big stuff, is priced in basis points. But see, again, this is where I come back to one of my rules. If you can, so you've got an industry, right, that is used to using basis points as say a revenue or costing model as the basis. So if you can come in and if you can change the basis, like, of that revenue or cost model, this is where you like make money, man. I mean, like in my other situation, I charge on a revenue model. I charge on a per event basis, right? But on my cost side of the spectrum, I pay on a telecom usage basis. So it's when you change that, when you can make it's, there's a big opportunity, I think, and Cash is actually right in a way, because certainly the financial industry is on this basis point basis. If you can come up with a way to, like, you can still use that, right? Maybe on the cost side, but then on the revenue side, if you can have a different sort of revenue basis. I mean, I hate to keep using the same stupid word, but yeah, I mean, this is where like big opportunities can open up. You want to make that switch over. At least that's one of the things I look for in a business. Like if I'm looking at something, I want to see how are they, what's the difference between the cost and revenue basis? That's the, and if there is because see, if there's not a difference, then you're basically just a reseller, right? Like, you're if my cost is one phone call or one text message, and I'm selling you one text message and I'm charging you based on that one text, then all I am is a reseller. So there's it would put the business in a weak position because my supplier could just vertically integrate and wipe me out. Right? Because if they can deliver, if I'm paying them, say, a penny to deliver this text message, and I'm charging 2 pennies, well, there's no reason my supplier can't just say, well, hey, screw you. We'll just sell it to them for a penny. Right? They're already selling it to me for a penny, so they're not even eroding their margins. It's a weak, it's just a, you don't, it's not a, you're better off to have a different revenue and cost basis. It is a thing to look for. And honestly, that's that's where your creativity comes in, because it's the changing of the, how do I say this? It's the changing of the I don't want to use the word basis again. Because I'm not sure that resonates with people. It's the changing of the resources. So, if your inputs are one set of resources and your outputs are a totally different set of resources that are useful in completely different ways, then that means you've performed some creativity, right? Like you've done something. You took some inputs, you changed it, and you made an output. And that's value creation. So yeah, that's one of those things that I think I definitely look for. And it's important. I think it's very important. Yeah, I mean, and when you see someone, like, look at like a Google Ads reseller, where like basically they're just selling Google Ads and they're just charging you more to manage the ads. They're just upcharging you on the ads, right? Like you could probably manage those ads yourself, um, if you had the right people to know how to do that stuff. So we got a little bit of a storm brewing here.
Yeah, it was raining over here today too. Although we really need it because
No, should go out there. No, come back. Get back over there.
How is the weather over there, Death Ranger?
well, it was raining today, but we definitely need it. It's like all the grass, all the trees, everything is brown and dead. Haven't had rain in a while. But go ahead, OT. Sorry.
I have a question for you, Doctor. This goes back to the space with NFT and NFT She. What was it that she was requesting help, and what did you suggest that the Flare Network was doing?
I don't know if she was necessarily requesting help, but when asked why she was what project she was on, right? She had said Ethereum, and that was only because it was Solidity based, right? And so I suggested, if she's trying to open horizons and look towards other networks, especially because she's like a female artist doing this. I like the digital kind of thing, and so I suggested Songbird and Flare, and just I was hoping she was going to join the space, but she didn't.
Oh, okay, cool.
I should send her the space actually. Let me try. Let me try and do that.
Yeah, I was just curious on sort of the integration. What's going on, Shellfish? Tony? I don't think I've heard you guys.
Sorry, I'm right here. What was the question? I'm doing dinner.
I'm not just saying what's up. How you doing?
Oh, hi.
What's up, OC? Yeah, I'm just doing work in the background right now on my computer. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
You know, OC, I followed her, but I can't find. Do you remember what her Twitter name was?
NFT she, and then there's some stuff after that. Let me see if I can find her.
Yeah, and I can't even look at my notifications because I'm swelled in this talk about the pineapple pizza. I have hundreds of notifications. There's no way I'm gonna.
Dude, like same.
It's
It's
horrible.
insane.
It's horrible. I don't know how I got stuck in this thing, but I don't know somehow I was in the first tweets and.
Damn.
I think if you go to who you're following, the people you follow show at the end show up on top.
Yeah, freaking Chris is always tagging some people and then starting shit, and like everyone goes nuts.
I don't even. No, was it him that started this? I don't even know.
Yeah. You cannot even see where it originated.
Yeah. You get like all these branches of like different conversations having. It's weird because you could see people that are talking to each other, but not seeing the same comments you see, and it just confuses you because it's just like these branches of different conversations all over.
Yep.
Yeah, Twitter's weird.
Tony, how's the weather over there?
It's good, man. Thanks for asking. I think
It was so weird how he just like stopped the conversation. I was like,
just
"Hey,
random, man." Well, he
Nice,
cares that deeply, That's thank you for caring, Pat. Unlike that.
You just wanted to say also like how's the weather over there where he is, and then you just start a new conversation.
Yeah, it's good. It's not too bad here. It's raining on the East Coast, huh?
It is.
Karma, you good?
Karma looks like he just entered a hurricane, dude.
Yeah.
I was about to say something, but did you hear the thunder?
Yeah.
Did it hit your house?
He's facing a hurricane right now.
Jeez.
No. It's actually kind of just drizzling, but it's going to come down. The wind has changed directions.
Good time to go fishing.
You guys get ready.
Bad time to go fishing.
You gonna go surfboarding?
Actually, one time I was surfing in which storm was this? I think it was Wilma. And you kind of get that little bit of feeling like, maybe it's time to get out of the water. And right about the time I had that thought, like maybe I'll take the next wave in, sort of thing. Fucking shark popped up right in front of me, a decent sized one. And then before the shark even went under the water, lightning struck, 200 yards away from me. And I mean, the next wave wasn't even a good wave. It was like, all right, I'm out. Like, bye. And I ran up to this condo, and all these residents were there, and because everybody was out like looking at the hurricane, and so I ran up in there. They were all looking at me like I was crazy, and anyway, so I hung out there for a little bit until it was safe to like go on about my day. But yeah, it was crazy. Like shark fin, lightning. I'm out. I'm out of here. This is, not that the shark would ever mess with you. The sharks don't care. Sharks are actually a lot smarter. I'm more scared of alligators. They're not as smart. Sharks are smart, man. They really are. So, and I don't kill, you know, I guess my name is Karma Coverage on here, but it's not for the karma part. I don't, but as a rule, I don't kill sharks ever. I know some people like that, but
I'm more afraid of what is it, blackfish killer whales? Like these guys are insane.
oh, the killer whales, they're who, dude. Sharks are smart. Killer whales are smarter. They really are.
They're insanely smart. It's crazy. They do like, what is it? The technique where they build up a wave to toss seals from like some spots where they sit in, and it's insane.
Well, and I've never personally seen it, but my grandfather told me, and I've seen it on some videos with
Yeah.
like whales and stuff, but it's like a bubble net, and so what they do, they'll take they'll find there'll be like a school of, you know, bait fish, and so they blow bubbles, and it scares the bait fish, right? And so they'll do it in a circle, so the bubbles are going up, right? And so it makes like it herds the bait fish into a tight pod, and then they can come in and like get a good meal, basically. Um, and my grandfather said that the dolphins here in town, because you got different pods of dolphins, um, you know, they're like families or groups or something. I mean, they're bigger than a family. They're like 20, 30. But you get different pods of dolphins, and but none of them do it anymore. Not that I've ever seen. So I mean, they really teach this stuff to each other. It's they're very intelligent.
I have a question to what Shellfish posted in the comments about about PayPal joining the Coinbase trust network. What's the trust network that Coinbase has? Does anybody know?
I have no idea. I just happened to see that. I figured I'd share it with the group. Yeah, if you guys want to delve into it.
Where is this?
In the comments, where'd you say
In
bubble
the
box?
bubble box.
Cool.
I'll be honest. When you first said bubble box, I thought you were gonna say bubble butt.
No, I think bubble box works. I mean, what else are you gonna call it?
That's like, where's he
I
going
like
with this?
it's a good term,
Okay, he
right?
said box.
Yeah, I got a catchy term to it. People like it. I don't see the comment though. Oh, let's see. PayPal has joined
Chris is here.
Trust Network.
Yeah, that PayPal news is kind of cool. I like PayPal. Been frustrated with it before in the past, but I've used PayPal, I think, for as long as they've been around, and for them to take on crypto, I think is awesome. I can't wait for it to be enabled in Canada. They don't allow you to do that here yet, but PayPal is so easy and friendly to use that if that's a way that people are going to end up using crypto, I think that's awesome.
Did you guys pin up or something to read?
It's in the comment.
Here, let me.
Oh, okay.
The box at the bottom right there.
You know, it's funny. It's just popped in my head. Years ago, when I was still doing the insurance thing, but I was stumbled into this world. There was a guy, actually two different guys from Atlanta, because Atlanta is actually a payments hub. And he actually wanted me to be freaking CFO, which I thought that was a little odd. He wanted to do like XRP plus PayPal. and he was Brazilian. And this is the odd part because we've just had this Brazilian news. So he was Brazilian, and the thing was he wanted to help because he would send money back to, like a remittance back to Brazil, and it was a little difficult there with PayPal. I forget what his bend was. He had a way to combine the two. It was a good idea what he had going. If I hadn't had been committed to the insurance company, I would have probably worked with him. But I had already committed to the so you got to stand by your commitments. So I didn't do it, and I don't know what happened with him actually. But
I mean, PayPal's in a really awesome spot where they're already good at onboarding and offboarding funds. Like I click a button and it's instantly out of my account, and for that to be available in as many countries as they are, and the fact that it's something that people always talk about. Oh, it's so much quicker for me to send XRP to my family back in Philippines or wherever. But that's kind of skipping past the next step of what it is that they have to do to unlock that value, right? If you're sending them money so they can pay their rent or buy groceries, they got to off ramp that money, and you have no idea what it's like on the other end, depending on what country you're sending it to. They got to go through KYC, and they got to go through how do you link this to my bank account? Does my bank even allow that? And PayPal, the fact that they've already have this infrastructure that's been there for longer than XRP's even been around. Pretty much the beginning of eBay, PayPal came out just around that time. So it's definitely been like 15 years or so. Just all that experience that they've had in taking the friction out of online payments, that if they could really put themselves in a position where they would be a pretty big powerhouse for on and off ramping crypto.
Well, you know how they say like it's everything, software as a service, blah blah blah. Everything is as a service. I think you're going to see a situation unfold here where you're going to basically some of these like money service providers and banks and PayPal's and whatever of the world, they're basically going to provide like regulatory compliance as a service, right? I mean, it's not like you can't send an XRP transaction yourself, right? But if you're not regulatory compliant, then you probably don't want to be doing that. So, there's going to be, and there's a cost to all this compliance. I mean, this isn't free. You got to have people, you got to have systems, you got to. I mean, it's just not free.
And that's the cool thing about PayPal is they've been jumping through these hoops of know your customer and all these different rules in different countries about moving funds and money laundering and such. So they're already ahead of any exchange that's out there for compliance. I mean, PayPal's accepted in probably more countries than any single exchange would be, and they already have the internal structure of how are we going to be accepted in this country? Well, we've been dealing with this country forever with our app already. So our customers are already KYC'd. We already have, like, I've hit their triggers before for money laundering. And it's pretty simple. You just kind of get a message in the PayPal app, hey, we need you to reconfirm this part. And we're doing this on behalf of rules in Canada. And you just quickly get over that little hurdle. So for them to jump onto crypto in every country, I think they're better positioned than any current exchange out there.
Thank you.
You were good for the first full half, but we started losing you at the end there, Chris. I think you got rugged. Or is it just me?
I think you're back now.
Yeah, I was just saying that they're already in a position that puts them ahead of any exchange for compliance with their KYC and money laundering rules. They already know how to stay compliant in all the countries they're in. So I think PayPal could end up coming out of this bigger than any of the exchanges that we have are now. Like we're just seeing the testing the waters right now.
It's a massive competitive advantage. The fact that they already imagine like if I ever get karma coverage going. Okay, now I've got to go relearn all this stuff. They already got it going. Right? Like it's a big competitive advantage. Certainly. I mean, how could it not be? It's not like you're going to grow a global company and just tell all the different countries and jurisdictions to screw off, like we're not going to follow your rule. I mean, that's not going to happen. That's just ridiculous. So the fact that they've already got all of that groundwork laid, or there's a better word for that.
Just think of the network of people they already have. Like all the countries they're compliant in, they probably have offices with lawyers and accountants and everything they need to ask the question, hey, country X and country Y, we're bring crypto there. Let us know what you need. Start researching, please. It's already there for them.
Imagine the effort necessary to try and assemble that from scratch. I mean, seriously, think about it. Try and imagine you're going to assemble accountants and lawyers who have this particular knowledge expertise, because not every accountant, not every lawyer is actually qualified. And you're going to do that across a whole bunch of different countries in different jurisdictions and different rules, and then stitch that all together, which is going to take another set of expertise. I mean, this is one hell of an undertaking.
And on top of that, already having a base user of probably in the hundreds of millions of people. Like that app is already in everybody's hands.
That's a kicker. That's like a tailwind for sure.
Good points, Chris.
I'll be spending my XRP on eBay in no time.
Nah, I think there's going to be a new eBay on the ledger. Man, 12% fee, that's crazy.
I think you would spend stable coins anyway. Wouldn't make any sense to spend an asset that's volatile.
Well, I mean, for a beginner, right? Like you're going to get into crypto, and I'm thinking like a little bit in the future when PayPal is a little more established with this. But the fact that somebody talks you into a crypto, Bitcoin or XRP or whatever, and you're like, well, I really don't want to go through this KuCoin or any of these other methods. I don't understand it. I can open my PayPal though. I'll pay a 12% fee and I can get my my toes wet. I think it's going to be a big thing for them. I think fee won't really matter when their target base isn't going to be people that know better.
Yeah, but 12%, weren't we just, what was, correct me somebody if I'm wrong, wouldn't 12%, we were just talking about basis points, wouldn't 12% be like 1,200 basis points? That's massive. Like that's.
I mean, we already have a ton of platforms out there that kind of prove that people don't give a shit about the fee. Like, OpenSea wouldn't exist if people cared about the fee.
I mean, I would disagree. I think people care, but it's definitely a double-edged sword, right? And I mean, there's not many platforms out there to really be able to do what you want to do unless you really have to pay those fees. So I feel like sometimes they're forced upon you, But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's your choice at the end of the day to use it.
I mean, I'm just thinking, my mom really wanted to get into crypto, and the stuff that she researched and wanted, we could get it all on KuCoin. And KuCoin's pretty simple, and they accept our Interact system here. So it's, but all the hoops that she had to go through and every step she had to take that she didn't understand some of the terms, she got really frustrated. I'm just seeing that most of the world is going to be in that same position. And if you can just open your PayPal app and pay 12% to not deal with that shit, I think that 12% is going to be a non-issue for a lot of people. Like, I'm thinking not people that are buying crypto now, but I think PayPal could onboard a lot of people that these exchanges just simply can't, because the barrier to entry is just, it's too much. You have to do so much learning before you can get onto most of these places and actually do something, especially if you're not completely tech minded. PayPal is so simple. You can download it, connect it to your bank. Like, I don't think I ever had to teach my mom how to use PayPal. She has it though.
I would agree with you, Chris, and then I would sort of add to that, and then once people start using PayPal with those services, then that's sort of when they'll probably start losing a little bit more customers, because then it'll probably be a little bit more competitive, more products from other projects would probably be coming out, and because PayPal, I guess, would sort of help make it mainstream, people then you would have more people aware of it, thus being uh, more lenient to try other products.
One metric that would be interesting to know to whether or not this would be smart or not. I wonder how much money exchanges make off of their users in the beginning compared to once they're experienced. Like, is most of the profit on the initial onboarding and them making mistakes and trading and adding more funds, or is the experienced long-term user that they've had for 3 or 4 years the ones that are making them money? Because I kind of suspect that they're probably making money off of new users within the first 6 months, and then those customers probably die off anyway.
Generally speaking, in a SaaS company, your cost of customer acquisition is obviously paid up front. And then you make your money over time. So I would think their incentive would be, if they've already paid the cost to acquire the customer, then I would think their incentive would be to encourage the customer to continuously use the service. The problem is you get a lot of people that are just like this stupid HODL thing. And they're not doing transactions, right? So I'm pretty sure Coinbase is a transaction fee revenue model. So they want people that are active traders. This Fidelity went through this too. And actually, I thought it was counter to the client's best interest, because if you encourage people to trade, they actually end up screwing up the majority of the time, like vast majority. So if you have your clients' best interests in mind, you actually would encourage them to not trade. The problem is you're encouraging them to not pay you fees, right? So you're encouraging a reduction in your revenue. Yeah, there's a conundrum there.
Yeah, once you buy your crypto and you stop playing around and you start exploring the community to kind of curb your curiosity, right? Because you'll just go broke if you just keep playing on the exchange and not seeing what else is going on. I think once you get involved in the community, you're kind of hurting the exchange, because you're no longer focused on just the tools that the exchange is giving you. Now you're on Twitter and you're learning things and researching, and this wasn't the best exchange to get onto. The fees are better over here. So I would really love to see data on that, because it might be possible that an exchange makes the bulk of their money on the new users experience until they do get out there, because who's really sticking with the first exchange they got onto?
Well, I mean, this is part of the reason I think self-custody. I mean, just self-custody, like it's a very I mean, you're really not participating in the network unless you're self-custody. Like the exchange would be participating in the network. You would be participating in the exchange. Does that make sense? I mean, like
It was kind of
you're reinserting.
I don't know if it was Doge or Bitcoin or who it was, but they were saying basically if you keep your coins on the exchange, the tokens never move. So the revenue from the network decreases more custody from exchanges, because that token doesn't have to go anywhere, right? It's internal. So better for the network is worse for the exchange. It kind of is a weird. It you would almost in the way that I'm speaking, I would think that an exchange's best interest is to just onboard as many people as you can, let them fool around, and then long-term holding isn't as important as long as there's still a new pool to grab of new users to bring in and to make mistakes.
Yeah, the dependency on new users is likely not desirable. You want to have your system or your business model, whatever, work with the users you have. Not that you don't want to go after new users, of course you do. But you don't want to be dependent on new users, because what that means is that you're not economically viable with the users you have. So if you're not economically viable, then it's over.
Yeah, I don't mean it as in it's a smart way to do business long term, but if the entire community on every token is pushing for you to get your money off the exchange, then the low-hanging fruit right now would be, how do we get new people on to spend as much money as they can before they figure out they need to remove their tokens from our platform?
Yeah, no. That's that's not, in my opinion, that's not okay. That's a strategy that says basically I'm going to screw some people.
I mean, that's almost the narrative everybody sells about exchanges, right?
Exchanges have their role; they're liquidity providers. But and they make up for, like, at least for like Bitcoin and I guess even Ethereum. They make up for the fact that those ledgers don't have order books and exchanges. I mean, it's what they do. They manage order books. So they're filling in that lack of functionality. That's reasonable to get paid for that. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't make money, but
I think what it is there's a gap in there, right? You got new users bringing their money on and learning crypto, and then you've got experienced users and companies utilizing the trading tools and APIs that allow them to trade off of their platform through the exchange. But for the long-term holder and average network participant, there really is no incentive on being on the exchange other than maybe making 1 or 2% API on a Power Piggy program or staking or something. For the in-between user, I think that's where all this narrative of exchange is bad, get it off the exchange, self-custody. It's because they're really nothing for those users as an incentive to keep their token platform. There's so many rules too, like you can't arbitrage on BitTrue and they don't give a warning, they'll just freeze your account. And so who gets to play there? New users and people that qualify for their API to run bots.
What about to sort of hide your tracks? Sort of not, be able to directly transact with your front end wallet. I could potentially see that as a service, not necessarily by an exchange, but I can definitely see that service be done by an exchange. I mean, for example, I would send money to the exchange to be able to transfer it to my main wallet, holding my tokens. I don't really want people to be able to sort of trace, my families or anybody I care about, or just it's personal information, right?
That's definitely what we see today. People do that all the time, especially from your wallet to an exchange to another exchange to another wallet, so that the outgoing might be KuCoin and then the incoming on the hidden wallet is Hotbit or whatever, to kind of extra separate yourself, because that client ID that you put in the memo, that's one directional, but if you're seeing a transaction at the same time go from your wallet to an exchange, and you suspect this other wallet might be theirs, and it's 20 minutes later it's going from that same exchange with no ID, you could track it. But if you throw it over to another exchange like Hotbit, and then tomorrow you go and transfer it, you leave it there for a week or something, that's definitely used. A lot of these farms do that. They just they slip up in one spot, and it kind of exposes everything that they've been doing.
Well, I sort of was thinking about like the concept of multiple transactions with one, I guess, fee. So, say for example, somebody sends me, for whatever reason, 10,000 XRP, and now I send it to that service exchange, which instead of sort of bombarding me with just one payment, they sort of over time give me 10%. So in a way, it seems like it's multiple people sending you money. That's sort of something I've been thinking about. Besides the XRP transaction fee, that's the only cost I see.
Listen, anybody else in the audience that has had any questions about anything that's been spoken about so far today, or if you have your own questions that you've brought, suggestions, anything you would like, please feel free to hit the request, come up and speak with us. We probably got about another 15, 20 minutes before we close out the chat today. And 808 is coming up right now. So love him. Hopefully he doesn't bring up the pineapples, though.
All right, for the record, if you put pineapples on the pizza, I'm leaving.
Karma, I don't put pineapple on the pizza. I put pizza under my pineapple.
Just a pineapple crust.
I mean, it's actually kind of it's not bad, but still, to me, a pizza is I always do the everything.
Yeah, I'm fond of bacon and pineapple. It's a good combo, but it's not a typical thing.
Veggie pizza for me, man.
No, I like the, I don't know, the different play. I don't know why they call the same thing different stuff, but I just like the everything, the Supreme, the Deluxe, or whatever the hell they call it. Just put all the stuff on there, and yay.
I don't know why 808 it didn't let you up. I just sent the invite again. That's weird.
If you like an everything pizza, there's one called T-Rex. It's not everything, but it's I think it's triple meat. Every kind of meat you put on a pizza, but 3 times. But definitely try a Donair pizza. If your local pizza place does a Donair pizza, it's probably the best one you can get.
Well, I like all the vegetables and everything too. I mean, I want all the peppers and onions and black olives and all the stuff. Yeah, I don't know how that conversation blew up though, but it was actually kind of annoying. Because I was getting blown up all day on my phone, and I was like,
"Oh, you're involved in the tweet, so."
No, I haven't responded to any of that.
I tagged him in the poll. I tagged you both in the poll. That's why you got blown up.
It was you, Chris. Gosh, that was a lot, man. I was looking at my phone. I was like 50 plus notifications. I was like, what? On what?
You're welcome.
So Death is famous now.
You guys ever eat the leftover toppings that fall off the pizza into the box?
Of course, nothing left behind.
You got a problem if you're sucking on the little table, though.
You know, it was a thing for many years, but I don't see it used anywhere anymore.
What's the latest crypto news? What we got going on?
I posted a picture of Vitalik. It's 4 slides over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 slides over. If you guys want to look, that's the. I don't know if something's going on, but I think there's an ETH Mexico coming.
I seen one of the developers of Equilibrium will be speaking at Apex about his hooks builder, which seems pretty interesting.
Wow, that's cool.
Is this Equilibrium Games?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
I haven't played anything with.
What's that about?
I don't think Equilibrium has the game out yet, but they have a couple vids with that of the game that looked pretty good. But I don't think there is even a beta or anything yet.
I think they are also like a publisher. Like if you are a project and you go to them, they can commission you games or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, but something
like a Steam, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but shout out to. Go ahead, Karma.
No, I didn't see what you're talking about, so I'm just curious. What is that about? Or what hooks builder is that the
I think it's what Matt used if you watched that Twitch episode.
I think I did watch that. That's the what do they call it? That's the interface that's like where you don't have to actually write in C++.
Yeah, your compiler, yes, correct. So you'd write in your native language what you're writing, and then it compiles the code into anything that can convert into WASM, if I'm not mistaken, right, Bet? Anything that can communicate with WASM.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think I forgot what it's called, Mini Python or something. But Python in general, like the Python is, I think, not supported or something. I don't know, or not yet. But Wietse had a comment there. I forgot where.
Yeah, there are a couple languages that can. Well, I'm sure there's a lot, but there are a couple common languages. I think you are right, like Python, and I don't think Solidity can either. I think it has to be more JavaScript or C or C++.
So insane. Like for me, Python is my
Yeah.
backbone.
Or Rust.
And
Speak Rust. I know.
yeah, Rust. Yeah, all this shitty language.
Just want to remind everyone, if you signed up for the XRPL grant information session, that is happening tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Can you talk about this? Like what's about? Like what is it?
I showed up to the first one, but it was my mom's birthday, and we went to like this attic restaurant, so I did lose service. So I couldn't really stay. I saw Karma in there, so he might be able to touch a bit more on it.
Are you talking about the interledger protocol thing?
Oh yeah, actually that could have been different. This one is specifically for the XRPL grants.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's much information on it. It's pretty much, I believe, like a AMA type of thing for anybody interested in getting a grant.
That's cool. That they do that.
I applied in the first wave, I guess is what they're calling it, for the derivative stuff. But I didn't really I didn't want to give them too much information, to be honest.
I think they need your GitHub or something. Like the grant, XRPL grant, I think so.
Well, I mean, I guess I do have a GitHub. But like, I'm not going to be the guy that writes the code. It's just not. I'm not that guy.
No, I mean the repo of the project. Like let's say Karma coverage, and you have a repo with code. This is what they want.
Repo. Well, there is a thing, but it's only like a README. It's not like a. There's no.
Yeah.
Like I'm not writing the code. That's not me. And even in the application, I was kind of tight-lipped. Like I didn't really want to give them too much information. And the one lady replied, and then anyway, with the interledger protocol thing, I think I might actually go out to New Orleans and go, because there's going to be a couple of people that join these chats that are going to be out there. I've connected some of these people, and I think that there's good synergy there.
Why don't you go to Vegas, Karma, like Apex? Like almost everyone is going. I feel like like David is gonna be there.
I might.
A bunch of people.
I'm considering, and I might. I'm over 50%. Yes. I was invited to the first one, and I didn't realize that it was going to be as like a significant event.
It is growing. Like I feel like it's growing. Like this year, as far as what I've heard, is like even bigger. Like many cool stuff is going to be shown, and they're gonna have also like a new approach to the dev community. Like there's lots of stuff, but not only dev stuff. Like I mean, it's mixed, which is pretty cool.
I may. Okay, here's the problem though, and this is a stupid problem. It's not really a problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't like Vegas. I don't like the. I don't gamble. Like I just don't. I don't like flashy lights and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the whole atmosphere is off-putting. But I get it. Like if everybody's going to be there and cool.
But Karma, do you know? Like to be fair, I don't know like where exactly the location is going to be. Is it like at the strip or is it like further out? Like I have no idea. If that's the case, I would say it's not an issue because like you're not where the main trouble is gonna be.
Well, I think during the day it's a little bit different atmosphere.
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of networking events, even within like big IT companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I very well may end up going there too.
And hey, Karma, maybe you do like 100x at the slot machine. You don't know.
Okay, so I've only been to Vegas once, and even though I said I don't gamble, so I never even left the airport. It was just I was on a layover, and so I had an hour or something, and so I was like, all right, so I put $5 in this stupid machine, and I got like 5x and I only bet 50 cents or something, and I like quadrupled my money or something, and I was like, okay, I'll cash out, I'm done. That was it. So that's the only time I came out above. I don't think it was enough to buy a hot dog, but at least I came out, I didn't lose any money.
Yeah, there's a nice meme. It's like 75% of gambling addicts are quitting before they hit it big. It's like, what? It's teasing people to play more.
Well, you got to understand the gamification and the like behavioral economics and all this stuff, and once you do, then it's like you don't want to fall victim to it, right? Like they build these machines and these experiences in ways that take money out of your pocket. It's intentional. It's designed that way. So when you like, if you go up to a crook and you like hi, and then they rob you, and then you're surprised you got robbed, you're an idiot.
I mean, Karma, what kind of game is like more your type? Like, are you more the slot machine guy, roulette, blackjack, poker? What is it?
I like chess and backgammon. Would probably be and card games.
You won't find them at Vegas.
Yeah, that's I don't.
No. I mean, like games that you could play like in one of the casinos.
Oh, I mean, I don't gamble. I don't know. I don't. I've played poker with friends and stuff, but I suck. Like they can all read me as like a clear as glass. I mean, I mean, these are like my friends and stuff, and so no, I suck. I'm terrible.
Hey, Chris, I think you talking about casinos. Have you used Casino Coin, like their lobby and sort of some of their services?
Oh, good question. Yeah.
I haven't used it because for some reason it doesn't recognize my KYC, even though some does. And I put a support ticket out first day, and I still haven't gotten any kind of response of why it doesn't work. So once it works, though, I'd love to check it out. My plan was to make a bunch of YouTube videos the second it came out, but yeah, I haven't been able to get in there yet. And Karma, I don't drink or gamble, and Vegas is like the most fun you can have on the planet still. Definitely recommend it. There's so much stuff you can do there.
You can
And
eat,
especially if you're not gambling and you're not drinking, the amount of shit that you can do for almost nothing is insane. Like your food's almost free. They really try to push free drinks on you all night. You don't have to play the games. There's tons of like activities that you can sign up for. The last time I went for 12 nights, and I did an activity every day. It was awesome. Like I went horseback riding and quadding and explored the largest gold mine and just insane amount of stuff. And it was super cheap. I think I spent like $60 a
Horseback.
day, and that fed me and everything.
I haven't ridden a horse in years.
I actually got to ride one of the horses from the jousting show, and they're massive. But this horse didn't like the crowd, so he got sent off to this ranch for people to go and ride into the desert with a bunch of Mexicans. It was a fun experience. Vegas it gives you, like, you can do anything you can think of in Vegas. You don't have to gamble. So if you're not tempted to gamble, I definitely recommend going there and just having a blast. Especially, I think 12 nights, because they subsidize the shit out of everything. 12 nights, the hotel upgraded with flights was $388. Taxes, everything in. And then I spent less than $100 a day.
That's basically free. I don't know, man. I just, yeah, I actually, I kind of detest gambling. I mean, I like my finance and investing and this kind of thing, but I don't view investing as gambling. Yeah, you might lose some money and you might be wrong. That's fine. Nobody's perfect. But there's a difference between making a calculated, position versus like throwing a number on the roulette table or like a card game or a slot machine where the odds are on the house. Like it's all against you. Like that's just, why would you go play a game where the odds are all against you? It's just stupid.
Is it though, Karma?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah,
It's stupid.
I pull like a lever thing like 3 times before I'm like, all right, I'm bored.
I mean,
Y'all need to go to Vegas with me.
I did get dragged down to down in South Florida. They've got that Seminole casino thingamajigger, and I got and then all the guys wanted to go out to the strip club. I don't like strip clubs either. And I didn't want to go. And so I went to the stupid slot machine and I put in like again, I put in like $5 and I got like $10, and then I bought a sandwich and then I went back to my room. Like, okay, I got dinner. Cool. Right? Like, yeah. It's just not my gig. I really, it doesn't fundamentally make sense. So I don't do it.
If you would have used like 50K instead of $5, you would have 100K.
Whatever. I
Yeah, I know.
could have lost 50K. I mean, if the odds are on, I would have lost 50K. Like that's
Yeah.
right. So then I wouldn't have been able to buy my sandwich. But literally, I did this stupid again, just like I did in the airport in Vegas. I hit the thingamajigger, some stupid slot machine. It boop boop boop. It did whatever the hell it did, and then it spit me out some money, and then I bought a sandwich, and I went back to my room. Like that was it. I'm done. Yeah, it's not a. I don't know. It's just not a. I mean, I've obviously gambled a couple of times, but and poker with friends is different because you're having fun with friends, right? So if you lose some money to a buddy, cool. There's no problems there. You had a good evening. You had some fun. That's I think different. But this other gambling stuff, it's just BS. I mean, the odds are against you. Don't play games where the odds are against you. Play games where the odds are with you. It just makes sense. I don't. But why would you play games where the odds are against you? I don't. That's where I have kind of a hard stop. Like, why does that make any sense whatsoever?
Yeah, I wanted to go this year, but first week of September is always kind of busy for me. But hopefully next year.
Is Apex in September?
Yeah, first week, like from the 6th to the 8th.
I thought it was after the ILP.
Yeah, it's coming up in like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, 2 weeks. Oh shit! If I'm gonna go do that,
literally,
then I thought that was going to be like later in like December, because ILP event is November.
No, it's the beginning of September. It's like September 5th and 6th.
Oh, geez. If I'm going to go out there, then I need to do something. Oh, my goodness.
I went in September once, and holy fuck, is it hot.
Ooh, it is going to be hot. It's going to be.
As a Canadian, like that's, I don't know how people live like that. Although I'd love to live there.
Come to Florida. Come to Florida. Not only will it be hot, but it'll be so humid that when you sweat, your body doesn't cool down.
Yeah,
oh
we
man,
take
I
humidity.
can't stand humidity at
I
all.
mean,
Like
at least
Yeah, I hate
most
humidity.
Well, it's like 100% humidity here.
I
I
work in a
love.
swamp, so it's always humid, and I can't stand it because where I live, where all the places that I've lived has usually been desert environments. So I really hate being home for 2 weeks, just hot and dry, and then coming up here and being hot and wet.
Oh, I love the humidity. I'm weird though, but yeah, no, I love it. But I grew up here too, and there's a bunch of Canadians that come down here, and it's kind of funny because you'll see them, right, and you can almost tell without even talking to them yet, and then you say hello, and then oh it's they're not used to it, that's for sure, and they generally are fine. Sometimes though, they really, I mean, you'll see these people and they're like pouring sweat. And it's not even that hot. It's like 80 degrees or something. Um and these people will just be pouring, and it's like, dude, go jump in the freaking ocean. Like,
all right.
Well,
Well,
if
we
you think we put up with heat for about 2 months, and then the rest of it's cool, and the other half is fucking cold. And what these Canadians do is we're allowed to go down there for 6 months every year without a visa, right? So they'll come up here for the summer, and then when they should be cooling off and being in the deep freezer, they're going down there, and yeah, melting.
went a little bit past our 5 o'clock mark there, guys. So I have to head out, but I really do thank everybody for coming and showing up today. Not to mean to cut you off though, Chris, but I really thank everybody for coming up and who speaks in these spaces, especially. And hopefully I see everybody here tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time.